Hello and welcome, YouTubers, to another Queen Roadkill Candy console review. Today we are doing the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Now, just to give you an idea, this was out around the same time as the Game Boy Advanced. Pretty similar looking. Alright, let's go into the specifics of this system. First, I'm going to show you here, this is your power. This here is your joystick. You can hear that click. It's actually an electric joystick. Here's your speaker, the lovely Neo Geo Pocket sign. Here we have A and B, and we have the options. Flipping it over to the top, as you can see, we just have the cartridge slot here. Pull that out. And that's the exit. And that's the exit port. That port lets you do two-player, if I could just focus it. So that's the exit port. You would use that for two-player like in the Game Boy port, or you can connect this just like the Game Boy to the GameCube. You can connect this to a Sega Dreamcast. There's a few games that support it. There's specific videos online you can look up for the specifics of that, but basically that's for the Dreamcast. Down here, see we have volume, headphone, jack, and then you can see the DC 3-volt in. Now we look at here. I'm going to turn it this way so you can read it. Rating, talks about all the stuff, the device. Companies with Part 15 of FCC rule orientation is subject to the following two conditions when this device may not cause harmful interference, and two, the device must accept any interference received, including interference that may cause undesirable operations. So if you're in a hospital, it might go crazy, apparently. The B digital apparatus meets all requirements of Canadian interference causing equipment regulations. So I actually ordered this thing from Hong Kong, so I find it interesting that it has the Canada laws on here. And as you can see, it's made by SNK Corporation. If you're unfamiliar with them, just think of most good fighting games that are not Street Fighters, and they probably did it. We're looking over here, serial number, and this here is the watch battery port. Mine, of course, since I got it super cheap, didn't have one. It does work without it. You cannot connect this to a Dreamcast without the battery. I mean, it's got the little prong in there, so you can just tape it in. If you're familiar with the really old Game Boys, when people would lose their backs, they would just duct tape it in. And so I'm going to probably have to duct tape that in if I ever want to hook it up to my Dreamcast. Not that I have the supportive games for that. I just have, this is the game it came with. It's a slot machine game. You roll slots. Yeah. Anyways, this is where the batteries are. As you can see, it's see-through. Just fits two. I'm just using the dollar store rechargeable batteries. But yeah, it looks like that. You can see the nice chip. And I'm sure you recall at the time that it was super, super trendy for systems to be see-through like this. So you could see all the guts. Probably because the consumer was becoming more aware of what they're buying. Not to mention, you know, the average knowledge of your consumer is just in general higher, so it's kind of interesting to them. They don't need to take it apart to look at it. In here we have the deep, dark depths. Anyways, that's just a cartridge slot. So yeah, let's turn this on without it. This is the color, so it's got a crazy awesome menu, and it's going to bitch at me in a second about the battery. Or at least it should. Yeah, there it goes. Battery! Trying to get this in better light. Anyways, you have calendar, horoscope, world time, alarm, set time, select, and then it says it's 7:41 current time PM. I would actually have to go check what the time is. I think that might be an hour out. Anyways, let's go to horror scope for no reason other than to show it. I'm gonna click it. So we're gonna be like, yep, it's the birthday. I actually did set it to my birthday. And as you can see, it gives me 4 out of 5 stars for money, gives me 3 out of 5 stars for health, 2 in romance, and it gives me 3 in general. I'm not sure what it means when it says general, but hey, I have 3 stars in it. Go me. So I'm going to turn this off. And it's going to complain. Yeah, there it is. The little, oh my god, no battery. Ah, alert, alert. And then it's going to turn off. Or do I have to actually? Okay, acknowledge it. Now I'm going to put in the cartridge. I'm going to show you that. There we go. Don't look at the light. You might get a seizure. Actually, I don't know. No one in my family has that problem. So I wouldn't have a clue if something was ever that crazy enough to affect someone. So you got a menu, all in Japanese. Like I said, I got mine from Hong Kong. This one was originally from Japan. And then you have a slot machine. You can choose lane 3, 2, 1. And then you hit this and, oh, I gotta confirm my row. Or, okay, I've chosen row 2, I think. No? I should mention I hate slot machines. There we go. I got spinning. Then I have to click again. I don't even like it when it's part of the mission. You have to do stuff. I didn't win. Doesn't really matter. You know, slot machine game. Oh, I should actually turn up the volume though so you can hear a little bit of the volume before I do anything else. Yes, battery. Yeah, so there we go, we have sound. Nothing too interesting. Yes. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to show you the cartridge for this game compared to other handheld systems. So this is it, of course, next to a Game Gear. This is it next to a Game Boy Color game. This is it next to Game Boy Advanced. This is it next to the Tiger. And then lastly, another Japanese console, the Bandai WonderSwan. Put this over top, you can see different, and bring it up close. You can see it's interesting because it's almost got like 2 separate cartridges type in here. It's really quite interesting because of course none of these are like that. They just have one. Now next I want to show you it again up beside the Game Boy Advanced. You can see they're both see-through, covering it. So originally there was a non-color one that came out to compete with the Game Boy Pocket. Then shortly afterwards the Game Boy Color came out, so then they made this to compete with the Game Boy Color, the color one. And just like the Game Boy Color, it is backwards compatible, so if you have a non-color one, it will play it with color. People say that just like the Game Boy Color, that if you have a non-color one, it's color, but it's not as vibrant as playing a colored one in there. For example, any of the old Pokemons in the color Game Boy. But yeah, this is the Neo Geo Pocket. It's a very solid system. They apparently came out here. I never saw one in my life until I was at an otaku video game shop and they had them there, and that's how I found out about the Neo Geo handhelds. Later, I saw one cheap and I picked it up when I saw it. Uh, I definitely do suggest it if you like fighting games. SNK does give you quality products. The fighting games are very vibrant, like King of Fighters, one of my favorite fighting games. Very, very good fighting game. Definitely. Soul Calibur and King of Fighters are really tied when it comes down to my fighting game favorite. But, to everyone their own, and yeah. You can get Capcom versus SNK and different things like that. So, if you're a Capcom fanboy, fangirl, that's out there. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now. And thanks for watching. Bye.